Been in the Philippines now 2.5 years, and with Microsoft just over 5.5 years. I think certainly in my initial period here, really the major focus was on the core business hub in Manila. If you look across the areas that we work in, from consumer all the way to enterprise, every area of the Philippines has a significant part to play, obviously, in that. And everyone's very aware of how quickly areas outside of Manila are growing, like Davao, like Cebu, like Iloilo. These areas are growing very fast. Certainly, I like to think over the last 18 months, I've been getting around the country a lot. I've spent quite a bit of time in Davao. This is now I think it's my third time in the last 7 months or 8 months here in Davao. And really listening to what people are saying around what they feel they need from Microsoft. We focus on a couple of things. One of the issues we have, of course, is with people that use pirated software and the quality of experience they have. So if you have a pirated copy of Microsoft Windows or of Microsoft Office, then the challenge is, of course, it's not getting the updates that it needs to get to be secure and to be available. So that's one of the things we worry about, helping people know that actually because they're using pirated products, they're having an inferior experience to the one that they could have. The other is making sure that we have different lineups in terms of prices for different types of products to make it available for different audiences. So whether you're a student or whether you're a small business, there's a way that you can get that Microsoft software in a lower cost option if that's what you need to do. The third thing we do is we make products available that go on top of the genuine product that you buy. So for example, if you've bought Windows 7, a genuine edition of Windows 7, you can go online, you can get Security Essentials, which is a free spyware, free antivirus. Specifically when we talk about small businesses, there's a combinations of issues that we need to deal with. One is making sure that we have the right skills in market for those people that are advanced users of IT to help them use the technology. The other piece, of course, is making sure that you have the right solutions for SMEs to enable them to be getting the best out of the technology. So I think one of the things we're talking a lot about is the cloud. So every product that Microsoft makes is being made available through the cloud. What does that mean? It means that a small business is able to access it and run it without having any IT expertise within the business, and that's important. One of the things we've really had to connect on is the consumerization of IT. This idea that everyone, whether you're a 60-year-old or you're a 15-year-old, everyone's a consumer. And so the better we make the user experience around consumer devices and take advantage of consumer experiences at work, the more successful we'll be. Perfect example of that is Windows Phone. Windows Phone now is the most liked. When they do the surveys in the US on the most liked operating system, it's Windows Phone that's winning out time and time again. The reception we're getting to the operating system, the unique experience, how it really is the best social media phone on the planet, is really helping audiences to change their perception about Microsoft as a go-getter and the partners we work with. So it's really important that the technology that whether they're young or old, people are working with is the cool and funky. When you talk about gaming, certainly that was an area that Microsoft was not seen as cool 4 or 5 years ago, but Xbox now is seen absolutely as the coolest place to game on the planet, no question. So that Kinect innovation is market leading, and helping people understand that that's Microsoft is an important part of how we drive it forward. Well, Windows 8 is very exciting. It's the question I get asked everywhere I go about when will Windows 8 be available. Windows is such a significant part of the ecosystem in terms of computing. I mean, the market share globally is astronomical in terms of where it's at. So I think what we're seeing is new types of devices that require a new operating system, right? And so this is why I think it's a real inflection point. What I'm seeing in Windows 8, I don't see the risk. I mean, all I see is upside. There's just a multitude of devices. The ability to work on the same touch device on a 60-foot screen or whatever you want, right down to the smallest device, is just going to work beautifully for our customers and partners. So I don't see the risk. Obviously, at a time where there are many, many different types of devices, it's important that Windows 8 works and works well. Our software works better on Windows than on any other platform. But absolutely, we want to be best in class on other platforms. We're very committed to interoperability and making sure that we are able to work so a customer has the right to choose what they want to work with. If you're building software for customers or you're using software, The big strength of the Windows platform is it's the same applications and the same development process for all devices. So it's one beautifully connected development and app environment in terms of how it goes forward. When we bring that all together with Windows 8, it will be the biggest app marketplace on the planet. When we talk specifically about consumer and competing in that space, really it's about making sure that we're adding more and more value to our free offerings. So when you look at Hotmail, Hotmail remains the #1 free email platform on the planet. It gives us immense scale in the cloud, which means we can do a lot of things with our other products. But we want to add value to Hotmail. So when you think about things like SkyDrive, which links beautifully with Windows Phone and the SkyDrive app that works on Windows Phone, we want to add value to the free products to make sure that when people are being introduced to Microsoft, that they're getting better and better services. So the value continues to increase. What we're also doing is making sure that they link wonderfully to the paid products, so that the fact that you're using SkyDrive adds value to your Windows operating system experience. The fact that you're using Live adds value to your Windows experience. I think a simple example that you'll have experienced with Windows Phone is that because Microsoft understands the cloud and security, we do security two ways. In a business, we do it with Active Directory, in terms of unique identity, and in the consumer world, we use Live ID. With that Live ID, everything you have follows you everywhere. So you can lose a phone today, you can pick up a phone this afternoon, you can put simply your email address at Hotmail or Live and your password, and all of a sudden everything comes back to your phone. So that's one of the beautiful things about the ecosystem. We've been doing this thing for a long, long time. We understand identity, and we understand how identity from the cloud should follow you to the device. So I think that's a really powerful benefit. We're very focused on our products and how we present our products to the market, and that's where we've got to focus. We needed to do something revolutionary and different with Windows Phone. That's what we've done. We needed to do something revolutionary and different with Windows 8 to make sure that it works for the new world of work with Slate and the consumerization of IT. That's what we've done. And we've got to continue to do that product by product, not just in terms of how we design the products, but also in terms of how we show them up in retail. So what will the retail experience be like here in Davao when you want to go and buy a Windows device? We've got work to do there to make sure that it's better than it is today. Certainly what we've done with those Microsoft stores in the US is we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about what consumers want and the questions they have about our products and when they compare them with competing products. And that's gone into some of the product design, to be clear. What you will see is that we're taking the learnings we have and the intellectual property around store management and design, and that will trickle into the Philippines, I think, not in the next year, but probably after that. But already, I can tell you from my experiences, and I spend a lot of time in the retail stores in the US and competing stores, we're already thinking about how we do things differently here in the Philippines, and we need to. So when you say Microsoft overall, there are 5 very big divisions of Microsoft. When I look at all of those, I see a very, very bright future in terms of how they're growing, both with some of those products working on multiple different devices, whether they're Android, Apple, or Windows, but also in terms of where Windows is going. The Slate opportunity is a massive, massive growth opportunity. And this is not a declining industry. IT is a massive growth industry, which we're just delighted to be part of, and we believe in the future. Whenever I talk to a consumer or a business, it's never their biggest cost, and it's always the thing they believe they can get more value out of to get more return out of whatever they're doing, whether it's doing homework at home, whether it's studying at university, or whether it's building a big business. IT is the answer. It's a big part of how we go forward.